um, I'm feeling as if you are going to be encountering some people that have a very, very different either cultural background or a different life upbringing than you. And I do feel that it's kind of like the clash of egos where you both are trying to work with each other to arrive at a common solution or a solution where you both can move forward together or at least, conclude something together or have like a common solution to that will appease the both of you. But I do sense based on your upbringing, you are approaching it from a completely different standpoint. And as a result, there's kind of a stalemate that is coming through, which can create blockages in moving forward, okay? I do feel that some of the things that you might want to think about is when, for example, when we argue with another person or when we're trying to compromise with another person, a lot of the times we don't really, it's not about like arriving at the solution. It's about one person wanting to have things their way. And I feel like for a lot of you, because you're a water sign, you're very receptive, but you're also very traditional. So you want to think about what it is that you're hoping to achieve by holding firm to your ground and what it is that you can compromise on. I'm also feeling as if a lot of you might be dealing with somebody who's very, very stubborn, who's very independent, who has been on his or her own for quite some time, and as a result of it, they don't feel the need to compromise with another person, okay? So from your end, I feel like childhood conditioning, family expectations, things that you were expected to, things that other people in your family unit expected of you, is dictating where and how you want to do things or how you want your life to turn out. Whereas the other person, they're approaching it from their own framework, which is based on their own childhood conditioning. And as a result of it, I feel like you both are kind of at an impasse. The other message I'm getting for a lot of you is there's some communication that you're waiting on from another person. And I feel like there's a big rift within the communication. So I see you over here and the other person is over here and you're waiting on communication. And right between you is this major, massive rift that has been created very, very recently. And it's very difficult for you to bridge the gap in order to see the other person or in order to like invite the other person back into your life. So I see like, this major rift between a somebody that you care about and you don't know how to bridge that gap. And I know it seems to me like this situation is pretty much out of your control. But I do feel that, we have other alternative ways. So back in the days, we don't have electronic communication. So we might not have the luxury to be able to bridge that gap. But I feel like with information technology and, all of our technological advancements, there is no excuses as to why they can't reach you, and there's no excuses for you if you miss them, if you feel like, you want them back. Cross the divide and send them messages, whatever it takes, in order to get some communication going, okay? So I feel like you might be a little bit stubborn this month, Cancers. Try to let the ego aside. It's about compromise. It's about other people for the rest of this month. And I feel that it would make you a lot happier if you just go forward with whatever it is your heart desires. Go in the direction that your heart is guiding you, and you're not going to be able to be wrong, basically. Okay, so if you're at a crossroad, if you're at some major junction in your life, it would be in your best interest to just follow your intuition, go with what your heart desires, all right? Don't overthink it. So let's talk about the spread here. In terms of your family relationships, there are some family planning issues, there's some family rifts, um, blockages in communication with whomever it is that you consider your family, okay? This is a card about stress and strain, somewhat of a, I feel like it's almost like regrets regrets about opportunities that have passed us by because we weren't quick enough on the uptake, okay? This is a card about, the apex of human emotional happiness. And I do feel that for a lot of you, this can play out in your family situation. There's some stress and strain within your family unit, and you're trying to rectify this situation, okay? And I feel that there is an impasse. There is somebody within your housing, within your family unit that is creating some type of discord within the relationship. It's sort of like both people are working at cross purposes with one another, and there's a stalemate. There is a lot of difficulty in moving forward and moving forward as a unit. So I do feel that it's creating a lot of discord. It's creating a lot of anxieties, and it's bringing about a lot of sadness and regrets. So this can play out, for example, if you're if you're younger and you're watching this and you're still living with your parents, there might be situations in which family, like parents, are bickering, or they might want to, seek separation, or there's something like that. There's some disjointed communication, or there's some like talks about breaking up the family unit, okay? For others of you, this can be people being added into your family unit, into your physical place of living, or people leaving your current housing situation or within the family unit. So I definitely feel it is bringing about a little bit of sadness and regret. The good news is, so if there has been a separation, if there has been some type of something you counted on, something that brought you a lot of emotional happiness, it's no longer there. Like you feel like maybe I took it for granted, maybe I let the opportunity pass me by and it won't come back around. I do feel that it is still within your power to try to fix this situation, okay? Mercury in retrograde is also like that portal to the past that opens up. If there is something that is gnawing at you, if there's something you feel that you could have done differently that could potentially bring you that total emotional happiness that you've been searching for, it is really important for you to not give up, push through, and try to fix this situation if you can, especially if it pertains to family members, people that you trust as if they were your family members, or people that you are really deeply emotionally in love with or emotionally invested in, okay? It's not too late. Try to fix it. Mercury in retrograde is a good time for reconciliation as well, if it is an ongoing issue, or if it has been an ongoing issue, okay? So in terms of the next cluster, what we have here is the Chariot and the Strength card. So going back to the initial message that that I got across. Okay, so Cancers, what I'm feeling is this is pretty much your month, and what you decide to do or not do is going to be like, it's going to solidify the rest of the year. This is a really, really powerful, potent month, and I don't know why that is. It could be planetary placement. What I'm sensing is this, okay? We have your card as well as the Strength card. And going back to the initial message that I mentioned, there's no excuses why you can't do something. So I feel like if you have been in a situation where other people around you were either chipping away at your self-esteem, if it has been like, sometimes we can't really help the family that we're born into. Sometimes we can't help the types of parents that we have. We can't help the siblings that we have. We can't help who is going to be in our family unit. But with every social interaction, with everything that is in our lives that we can't help and we have no control over, it is teaching us a very, very important, valuable life lesson. So simply one of the lessons might be, try to let go of things or people that are not good for you. If you can't fix it, let it go. All right. So that's a major, major life lesson that comes through for a lot of Scorpios this month. Pisces as well, I feel. Sagittarius, strongly Sagittarius, because they're having their Saturn transit right now. And also with you, because, I feel that letting go has been a major issue. But the other thing I'm sensing is you might be, I feel like for some of you, you might be have been brought up in a house environment where it's like a very negative attitude, where it's like, oh, don't strive for more, don't persevere, don't fight for things. We need to know our station in life. But the point here is that you have immense power of manifestation, and the universe is forcing you to push through it, okay? So whatever obstacles are standing in your way, it's there, it's created by that mental energy where you feel as if you're not good enough, where you feel as if, oh, somebody has already blocked me out. There is no way I can push forward. Well, I do feel that everything is within your control. What you do this month is actually very, very important. What you do or don't do is going to solidify, cement the relationships or whatever energy is coming through for you for the rest of the year. So I feel like it is really, really important for you to push forward, persevere, push a little bit harder, and you're going to get the outcome that you want. So this is a card about victory through much struggle, okay? It's working with disparate energies. The energies are very opposing one another, so you have to like find a way to find a middle ground, balance out the disparate energies so that you can move forward and gain the momentum, gain the traction that you need in order to move on, in order to achieve success, okay? So push forward. The motto for this month is pretty much, there's no reason why you can't, okay? If something, some barriers, some restrictions have been placed in front of you, figure out ways to get around it. Don't shy away from either a confrontation, conflict, or a situation where you feel like you can't win. Nothing is written in stone. This is a time for you to revisit some issues that you might have like casted off to the side as a no-win situation. It's time for you to revisit this, because I feel like the portal is opening and it's telling you, be smart about this, be strategic, have a plan, and be very, very decisive. If you want a specific outcome, manifest it, think about it, and go for it, okay? Don't hold yourself back with self-defeating talks, all right? Now, in terms of the people that are around you, we do have here the Sun as well as the Prince of Wands. So for a lot of you, on the public image, on the career, on the success front, okay, you are exuding a very, very good energy. You can persuade anybody right now. This is a really, really good month for you to not only stand up for whatever it is that you believe in, you also want to think about ways in which you can free yourself from previous obligations, previous like negative, pessimistic thoughts, ways of doing that limited you. So this is a month in which you need to really figure out, where am I exactly headed? What do I need to do for my long-term financial, career, and professional success, okay? So think about, for example, if you're like going through a 9 to 5 job, that's a dead-end job. I want you to take some time off and think about, okay, these are my dreams. This is what I'm aspiring to be. How can I get there? I can't get there by staying in this 9 to 5 job forever, right? So it's time to strategize. So I know, like, when you're in the midst of it and you have a lot of bills to pay and you have a lot of responsibilities and you have a lot of like children, obligation, family obligations, wife, kids, dogs, mortgage, whatever it is that are piling on top of you and you don't see a way out. My advice is not going to, be practical to implement. But what I'm seeing here is that this is a really important year for you. So I feel a little bit more strategizing. Thinking long term is going to be more meaningful for you. You don't have to execute anything right now, but I want you to think about ways in which you can secure a long-term financial future. If you're in a job and it's like you don't see promotions, you don't see mobility, you don't see it panning out as a career. It's just a job. It's 9 to 5. It's every day. And it's monotonous and you're not going anywhere. It's really important for you to seek additional schooling, additional education. Do that at night if you can. Do it on the weekend if you can. But I feel like you have to push through it. And I know it sounds really, really tedious and hard and boring. and it's like going to be so like insurmountable. It seems like there's this big blockage in terms of between you, what you want, and the goal. Okay, so it seems like there's this mountain between you and your goals. So we have to plan things long term. Things are not going to come by, and they're not going to be achieved overnight, but anything that's worth doing, it requires a little bit of a game plan, it requires some strategy, and it requires you having the guts to go for it, okay? So I feel like it's not just about guts, it's about long-term planning too, but I feel for a lot of you, there has been some money issues, there has been some grinding away, trying to create financial stability, and it's not only financial stability that you're seeking. You want a job that is self-esteem boosting, is what I'm feeling. It's not just about the money. You want a job that has a good title. So you're very status conscious, and there's definitely nothing wrong with that. You want to set clear goals for yourself. You want a big office. You want, like a nice view. You want a status that matches your credential, that matches the skill set that you value about yourself, okay? So if that is something that you want, if it's not just about the money, you have to strategize and try to get yourself there. But I feel like in the past, there's this self-defeating talk that you talk yourself into, and it prevents you from achieving your dream. So I feel like this is a really good time. It's Mercury in retrograde. It's not a good time to act, but it's a good time for you to slow down and for you to think about long-term career goals, professional life, like what it is that you can do to give yourself a leg up, okay? Once you are able to do this, you're going to have a lot of success, okay? I do feel for a lot of you in the work front, you're traveling again. You're traveling so much again. So the Chariot is a travel card. The Prince of Wands, this is like the Knight of Wands, traveling. You're dodging from one place to the next, and you're not getting enough sleep either. This came up in March, and it's coming up again. So once again, you're shuffling around, you're not happy, you're trying to make ends meet, you're trying to create something, but I feel like there is an easier way to do this. So I'm getting like same exact energy. The Chariot card, you're traveling all over the place, you're like hopping around, you're not getting very much sleep. You're like trying to prove something, I feel, and you don't need to prove anything to anybody except yourself. So figure out what you need to be happy, work towards that, have a game plan, okay? Now there is some clash of wills here, is what I'm feeling. So the King of Cups is your card, and the Prince of Swords, this is the Knight of Swords, is another person's energy. And I feel like this might have come up last month too, so you're dealing with the residual energy. Okay, so for a lot of you, I feel like this is more in the love relationship department, and we're going to try to flush this out in a little bit with the love reading. But what I'm feeling as well is there's a clash of egos, there's a clash of wills. First of all, you have an air sign in your midst, and air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And I feel almost like this is you, the King of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but I'm reading this more as you. You have love and affection, and you want to take care of somebody. There is somebody in your life that you really, really want to take care of. And I do feel as well, there, I feel that they do care about you, but I'm seeing like a lack of communication. I'm seeing an impasse happening between you and the other person. I'm seeing as if, you want this person, but you're not making the moves. So the king, he's a very receptive energy. If you look at the way he's situated, and just like the demeanor and the energy I'm picking from this card, this is you potentially wanting a person in your life, but you're not taking the steps to show them that you're interested, okay? Their attention is fixated on something else, or on somebody else. And air signs are very, very like, they're very analytical. And so what I'm feeling is they won't know that you're interested until you let them know. And in the meantime, they're caught up with a gazillion things that are going on in their own life. So if you're waiting on communication, earlier I mentioned there's waiting on some communication. You have to be the first one to take the initiative. Otherwise, I feel that everything gets lost in the shuffle. They're bouncing around. So the Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck if you look at the traditional Rider-Waite deck. So they have a gazillion things on their mind. They have like a million things that they need to take care of through their everyday, trying to survive, trying to get through life. They tend to be a little bit forgetful. They tend to be a little bit curt with communication. So I feel like you might need to be the one to step out of your shell in order to forge ahead with the other person. If you are somewhat linked in with a water sign, so this is another Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, if you have somebody like that in your immediate environment and you're waiting on communication from them, for example, I do feel that in that case, if you're, then the energy is reversed. You are, I feel like, okay, so if you're dealing with a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, I feel like they have sent you some communication, but you were like traveling, jumping around, going, like hopping from one place to the next. That communication has either been delayed, you might not have gotten like internet or either internet or cell phone reception in order for the messages to come through. So I feel like there is some blockages in communication, either messages not getting through or you're butting heads with another person. You say one thing, but like the message is not getting through to them. Likewise, they're saying something, but everything gets lost in the air, okay? So I feel like sitting down and having a face-to-face conversation is going to be so much better so that you can like gauge body language, gauge facial expression so that you can understand how they are receiving you and they can understand how they come across to you. I feel like that's really important. Face-to-face interaction is going to be pivotal this month in order to get through an impasse or a stalemate. I see you're very, very busy, so you might not have the time to do this, but if it's important, it deserves FaceTime, okay? It deserves FaceTime. So do it through Skype if you need to, but either way, I feel like you need to look the other person in the eyes in order for you to convince them or in order for you to relay some very important information so that communication doesn't get mixed up or it doesn't get lost, okay? Also, Mercury in retrograde is a good time to have face-to-face interaction anyways because of the energies for miscommunication. So in terms of your advice, Cancers, so for a lot of you, what I'm feeling here is I'm going to, reduce this to focus specifically on other issues and then we'll focus on the love situation later. But I'm feeling a heavy, heavy love atmosphere here. For a lot of you, you are dealing with somebody, possibly a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo, and you're not able to reach any type of a satisfying conclusion with this person. So I feel this person is very, very stubborn. They are fiercely independent as well. Usually this person might have like a child in tow. So you might have a child as the King of Cups. King of Cups usually is somebody who might have a child in tow, okay? And then you're dealing with another person who has his or her own child as well. So I feel like working together to form a harmonious home environment is very, very difficult. For those of you who do not have children or not dealing with somebody with children, I feel that you both are at an impasse because you want different things in life. Also, they are a fire sign. It can be their sun, moon, or rising. So they're of a different element than you. I feel like they are looking for more FaceTime. They're looking for more affection. They're looking for more of a common direction. They're looking for more of a commitment from you, and it's not coming through. And as a result of it, you're busy. You're trying to, plant seeds for the next phase in your life. You're also busy trying to secure that, success on the professional front as well. And I do feel this is a person that wants something more from you, okay? And I feel this is a very good person. This would be somebody that is very caring, very loving, very nurturing as well. So if you're choosing, if you're like balancing two people, if you're like going through the motions where you're juggling multiple people, the fire sign I feel is actually very good for you. On the other hand, if you are kind of like deciding between jobs where you're juggling two jobs, I feel that you want to slow down a little bit and you want to make sure that you have the energy properly. And if there is a hard way to do things and then there's a smart way, okay? So figure out where you can streamline the work that you're doing so that you can conserve energy, so that you can reserve some time left to do something else. I feel that's going to be more beneficial for you, okay? There is a decision that needs to be made, and I do feel that right now you're emotionally rattled and it's not good for you to make a decision. This is the month to plan things out, but in terms of executing the bring you, hold off on executing anything, hold off on making up your mind, hold off on any major important decisions, okay? So let's go into your love life and see what's in store for you, Cancers. This is your love reading. I'm not going to be reading reversals. So what's in store for Cancers, May 2016, in terms of love and relationship? Love and romance, actually. Love and romance. I'm going to pull out extra cards to clarify, mainly because I want to see what's going on. One of the things that I'm picking up here is that I see a lot of frustration with you. Like I feel like you're throwing money at a situation to make it go away, like throwing money at a problem to make it go away. Okay, and obviously this is a love reading, but that came through. So I just want to put that out there. Yeah, so I pulled out a card to clarify this situation here. Okay, so let's talk about, they want another card for the Knight of Swords. What's going on here? Okay, so let's talk about the situation here. Let's start with all of you who are single, single. You could be dating, but you're not seriously committed to any one person just yet. What I'm feeling is, first of all, you are trying to amass your wealth, okay? You're very, very focused on the work front. I do feel as well there is somebody in your work environment who is attracted to you, and they're hinting at, wanting to date you. I feel that your focus is elsewhere, so you're not really interested. I feel somebody like that in your work environment, okay? For others of you, I feel that you have recently broken up with somebody. Somebody has like recently left your life, or you have sailed away from a partner, like a relationship partner, okay? If that is the case, I do feel that you are missing them. I do feel you are missing somebody from your past. I do feel that you're looking for communication from them. You're also very busy on the work front. You might be busy burying yourself in work in order to forget them. That's also what I'm sensing. On the other hand, what I'm feeling as well is, in terms of your emotional state, is not looking too great. I feel like this is a card about, swift victory. But what I'm seeing here is this is winning at the expense of somebody else. This is also a card about like pursuing the wrong things putting emphasis on the wrong things. And as a result, our eyes are kind of like finally opened as to what is really important in life, okay? And I feel like it might come in a little bit belatedly. So after all the struggles, you realize that, oh, this is not what I want. This isn't the victory that I want. This isn't the outcome that I want. Or this isn't even the person that I want. So I feel like for a lot of you, you might have walked away from a person. You might have gotten into a relationship with another person. Um, Possibly an earth sign. So you might have moved away from an air sign. You might have gotten into a relationship with an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, and you're realizing that it's not the relationship partner that you want, for example. Okay. I feel as well, we have here the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords indicates to me that this is a situation where truths, communication is going to change the way that you it's going to bring about this realization. It's going to bring about this revelation for you. If you are thinking about somebody, if you're missing somebody, reach out to them. What I feel is this is your energy here where you're just like, the Queen of Cups, whenever she comes out, she's a very, very receptive energy. So basically, she doesn't want to kick up a fuss. She doesn't want to fight hard for things. Okay, she wants to sit back. Whatever people say goes. And she's very laid back. She's very easygoing. She's very caring, loving, and all of these good things. But on the other hand, she is very receptive. So, for example, if she walks into a room and the vibe is really, really bad, very negative. Sorry, I just want the siren to pass. If she walks into a room and the vibe is very, very negative, it affects her emotional state, and she's negative, like she thinks negatively for the rest of the time that she's there. So if this is your energy, you're basically internalizing what other people are telling you without coming to your own conclusion. So I feel like this is the month for you to push hard, extract information, however you need to, in order to get you the answers that you need so you can move on, so that you can have clarity, so that you can have information. So I feel like that's what's required of you. Don't be the receptive energy, be the active energy, okay? And I know that's unlike you because, you're a water sign and you're very, very sensitive to rejection. You're very, very sensitive to people's words and action. But I feel like this is the month for you to exercise more of the vigor, the drive, the ambition, and to be the active person within the interaction, okay? So for those of you who are single, you have an earth sign, very, very strong earth sign, actually, new earth sign coming through for you. So this is a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is somebody who's very like financially stable, but I feel like there is a little bit too much emphasis on money, on status, on prestige, and all of those things. It doesn't mean they're a bad person, but I do feel somebody is admiring you for potentially the money that you have. But in terms of like long-term stability, I don't recommend it with this person, okay? And this can be sun, moon, or rising, but I feel like there is a little bit too much emphasis on status, on prestige, on finances, okay? You also have an air sign coming through, and the air sign, I feel, this is somebody who doesn't care how much money you have. I mean, he like the face is covered up. He's like gearing up for battle. He wants communication. He wants some verbal jostling, some intellectual like connection with you. If this is somebody that you miss or somebody that you're thinking about, I do feel it bodes well. It looks very good. It looks to me to be like a compatible energy. If you were like, out there spending a lot of time amassing wealth and trying to build up your empire, this is a person that doesn't really care about how much money you have. Okay, so to me, that sounds solid. So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra for the air sign. A lot of you are also in a relationship with a water sign. If you were or are in a relationship with a water sign, I definitely see a situation where you both, so this is another Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. What I'm feeling is for a lot of you, you might be in a situation where the water sign is has been very evasive about telling you what they want, what direction they want to take the relationship. I also feel like there is a lack of commitment, and there might be some communication breakthrough that will allow you to know what they want as well as how you want to proceed with this. I feel for a lot of you dating a water sign, there might be some type of a I feel almost like third party interference. I feel like somebody, you or them, purposely like trying to cause drama is what I'm sensing. Trying to cause or create some type of drama. So, for example, um, and obviously this is not going to apply to all, and dear God, I hope it doesn't apply to all. But I feel like, creating like creating jealousy, purposely creating jealousy, provoking jealousy in another person. So this is coming through. I don't know which direction it's coming through, because the energy tells me that somebody is like asking somebody else to prove their worth. And it's like, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't need to prove anything. They should know what you're worth, and they should try to keep you around if they want to be with you. But I feel like somebody's like really high on their pedestal, and they're just like, well, you need to show me, if you're worth it for me to devote my time. And that's very, very childish. So I don't know which direction this is coming out, but I feel like it's an empty, hollow victory. So even if you showed your worth, or the other person showed their worth, what you have is a very, very superficial relationship, and it's not going to go anywhere. And when this serves as your foundation, you might want to be a little bit careful about who you're interacting with, okay? If given the choice between somebody who doesn't really care about status, financial security, money, whatever it is that is, just not important by the end of our lives, I would go with that person. So you do have some choices to make, and I feel like for a lot of you, you're dividing your time between multiple people, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as they are aware of that, okay? And you might want to narrow down your options, because you're wearing yourselves out, and you're also when you're in a relationship, when you're juggling anything, work, people, different activities, you are compromising on the quality. Okay, you're compromising on doing things really, really well. So whenever we juggle things, the quality suffers. So you might want to rethink this, okay? In terms of those, well, I feel like I'm going to start doing this from now on, just, talk about the cards, and then wherever it applies. I'm not going to go through singles and couples, but I feel like for couple relationships, things are looking very, very good. There will be a situation where you both are coming together and working at situations. I feel like as a couple, there might be like mothers, mother-in-laws, grandmothers. I feel like some family situation where you might have to contribute money, or might have to contribute some help, some financial assistance, or some overall help to help out somebody who might be elderly, who might be aging. But I feel some help coming to you, or from you as a couple, to somebody else in your family unit, okay? I also feel there might be some squabbles over that, but I feel like the energy is very, very harmonious overall. In terms of coupled people, where if you're arguing, argue for what's right rather than arguing just to be right. I feel like you might encounter this energy within your partner. So whatever relationship partner that you have, I feel some disputes, quarrels coming in for this month. And it has to do with the fact that you both are hailing from very, very different family situation, childhood home, childhood conditioning, as well as cultural, beliefs. So you're arguing and you're not getting anywhere. So take a step back if that's the case, because I feel once again, arguments will lead to an empty victory, okay? I wish you all the best, Cancers, and I'll talk to you soon. If you like a private reading, please visit my website. It's in the description box below, where you can view my availability and where you can book an appointment as well. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.